Hello, Northside community members, staff, parents, and voters. The Northside Independent School District is proposing a school bond election for the May 7th ballot. School Bond 2022 focuses on renovating and upgrading aging schools and making safety, ventilation, and technology improvements. 95% of this bond would be dedicated to improving existing neighborhood schools. This proposed work is part of a 20-year master plan to ensure that our students are ready for the future in schools that are up to standard and with innovative programming.
Northside ISD currently has more than 102,000 students, is the fourth largest school district in Texas and the largest in the San Antonio area. School Bond 2022 recognizes our commitment to keep up with education standards in our current spaces and provide functional learning spaces for all children across the district. Last fall, a 250-member Citizens Bond Committee looked at enrollment projections, analyzed existing facilities, and recommended that the school board call for a bond election.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
The NISD Board of Trustees approved a bond proposal that asks voters for $992 million to make major improvements and renovations to Northside schools and build one new school. On Saturday, May the 7th, you will be asked to vote on School Bond 2022 to fund major renovations of libraries and cafeterias at current schools, replace some buildings on older campuses, make necessary upgrades to infrastructure systems like roofing, heating, and air conditioning, create and renovate spaces for additional magnet schools for both middle and high school students, and accommodate the addition of more students with new classrooms and a new school. The biggest portion of School Bond 2022 focuses on renovating and upgrading our current and older neighborhood schools so they meet current education standards. Almost half of Northside schools are older than 30 years, and our oldest was built almost 70 years ago. Here are some of the upgrades and renovations. Glen Oaks, Powell, Colby Glass, Mary Hall, Colonies North, and Cable Elementary, along with Marshall High School, will all have aging classrooms updated to meet current education standards. School Bond 2022 would replace the gymnasiums at Glen Oaks, Westwood Terrace, Colonies North, and Meadow Village Elementary. Athletic facilities and locker rooms will be brought up to standard at Sol Ross and Conley Middle School, and Stevens, Brandeis, and Holmes High Schools. The fine arts area at Clark High School will be replaced. New sensory play areas will be added at 81 elementary schools. Sensory play areas are another outdoor learning space that encourages flexible and creative thinking. It provides an inclusive opportunity for all children to model social interactions and foster communication. Libraries across the district will be modernized. New spaces will be created for magnet schools at Stevens and O'Connor High Schools, along with Hobby, Stinson, and Jordan Middle Schools. Northside cafeterias serve more than 85,000 meals a day. School Bond 2022 would renovate the school cafeterias at Glen Oaks, Westwood Terrace, Esparza, Colonies North, and Meadow Village Elementary, along with Holmes High School. The second largest portion of Bond 2022 makes sure our well-maintained facilities enhance the learning opportunities for all students across the district. That means renovating and replacing our infrastructure so it works efficiently and safely. These projects include replacing the chillers and boilers at sites across the district, updating electrical and lighting systems, upgrading paving and drainage systems, and replacing the flooring at several sites. Bond 2022 would provide new roofs and waterproofing for 22 locations across the district. Bond 2022 also focuses on safety and security and proposes to replace fire alarms and door hardware so classrooms can be locked quickly in case of an emergency. It would also replace and upgrade electronic and video security equipment across the district. Technology is a smaller portion of this proposed school bond. During the past 2 years, Northside invested to ensure all students had access to technology and mobile devices. This bond proposes upgrades to the infrastructure with improvements to network security, telephone, and wireless systems, along with the data center equipment. Bond 2022 would provide for one new elementary school in the explosive growth areas in the west side of our district. The new school would be in the Village at West Point West area and is expected to relieve existing overcrowded schools. The Northside School District has over 900 buses. They travel more than 8 million miles each year, taking about 35,000 students to and from school safely every day. The lifespan of a Northside school bus is 18 years. We retire school buses after they drive 250,000 miles on San Antonio roads. School Bond 2022 funds 90 new buses and 25 multi-use vehicles like Suburbans and minivans at a cost of $15 million.
Bond management is the way that we actually manage our bond programs. Our cost is about 1%. The staff goes out to the campuses literally every day to ensure that what's being installed is in according to contract documents, but also best practices, and it ultimately ensuring that whatever's built is at the highest quality and provides our students and our staff the proper learning environments.
The proposed bond, despite being the district's largest, would have no associated tax rate increase.
We've made some modest assumptions about property value growth over the next several years. In addition, since 2016 up to and including this summer, the district has paid off over $100 million of bonds. So we've layered in capacity to have a new bond issue and not impact the tax rate.
There will not be an increase in taxes for senior citizens or disabled persons as a result of this proposed bond. School property taxes for senior citizens are frozen and would not be affected by passage of the bond election as long as they have applied for and received the over 65 homestead exemption with the appropriate appraisal district. So why do school districts need bonds? Just as homeowners borrow money in a mortgage to purchase a home, school districts borrow money to pay for new schools and renovation projects. Both are repaid over time, but for a school district to sell bonds and borrow money, it must go to voters for approval. By law, bond funds may not be used for daily operating expenses or salaries. They may only be used for the projects described.
From new classrooms and roofs to buses and expanded magnet programs, we see School Bond 2022 providing opportunities for our students and families. Bond 2022 will provide new spaces and new programs to help them prepare for their future and to help us achieve our mission of transforming the learning environment for all Northside students. I invite you to learn more about School Bond 2022. You have the opportunity to make your voice heard.